Hello everyone, you watching the Guesting Gabon 24, welcome. The problem of environment protection in Gabon is an up-to-date issue. All of us should be involved from a very basic level to a larger scale as environmentalist amateurs in order to keep our communities clean and safe. Recycling is part of the various activities to be taken into account when we deal with environmental issues. Among these compatriots who are involved in recycling and who are also passionate of it is Christina Obam. She is entrepreneur and environmentalist amateur. Hello, madam. Welcome to Gabon 24.
Thank you for having me.
Well, today's topic is recycling at individual scale. And you are welcome to Gabon 24 one more time. The first question, please, if you allow me to say so. Can you deeply introduce yourself to the viewers, please?
Absolutely. So my name is Christina, and I am Gabonese and American. I have spent the majority of my life overseas between the United States, and I also spent about a decade in Asia and Japan, which was an incredible experience. And I returned to the United States for university where I studied business language and culture studies with a minor in art history in Washington, D.C. at American University. And for the past few years, I've actually been working in the environmental field, notably at the Nature's Conservancy, which is the largest environmental nonprofit in North America and one of the largest environmental nonprofits in the world. And they actually do work in here in Gabon. They have an office and they work a lot in conservation and preservation of freshwater resources. So really amazing work. And
pretty good.
I think that's it.
Well, congratulations one more time, and nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
Okay, well, so, based on the definition, an amateur is generally considered a person who pursues a particular activity or field of study independently from the main sources of income. Do you consider yourself, as, let's say, an environmentalist amateur?
Absolutely. I would like to say that I've been very fortunate that from a very young age, I received a very good environmental education, whether it be at school or primarily through media, believe it or not. In the early and mid-90s, when I was growing up, a lot of US channels made a point to have environmental programming geared towards children. So from a very young age, I learned about conservation, about preserving water, preserving energy resources, and it kind of created a spark inside of me that later grew and grew and grew into a passion, and that I ended up making a career out of.
Pretty good. And you said that the NGO you've been working for in the US is also based here in Gabon, is it that?
Yes, absolutely. I was formerly working for them in the United States, and now I'm here, and I actually run a restaurant and event space, which is very nice here in Libreville, and I highly recommend you come visit.
Oh, so how long have you been maybe back here to Gabon?
It's been a few months, I would say about 6 months. I've been here many times. I would always fly back and forth, but this is really my first time sort of living here full-time and discovering my country, really.
Okay. Oof. I'm just kind of happy and honored to be one of the gentlemen you've known here.
Thank you. You are now one of my 6 friends.
Oh, my God, that's great having you one more time here in Gabon 24. And then, well, sometimes, let's say, viewers make a difference or make a confusion between ecology, environment, and why not, let's say, recycling. Maybe you can, try to let us better figure it out.
Absolutely. So we'll talk a little bit about definitions. So ecology is the study of living organisms and how they relate to their physical environment. So for example, myself, a tree, a buffalo, a plant, and how they relate to the environment they live in, the soil, the air, and so on and so forth. Environmental engineering is a field, is a professional field which marries a lot of different scientific branches, whether it be ecology, geology, chemistry, and what have you, in order to present answers to environmental problems. For example, waste management, recycling, and so on. And recycling is simply the transformation of something that would be waste normally. So normally it would be non-biodegradable waste into a new reusable product.
Wonderful. That's pretty good. I think you did help us a lot to better understand now what's the nuance between the three notions. Except, let's say, environment issues you are involved in Gabon in, you also are an entrepreneur and you're running your own restaurant. Can
Absolutely.
you tell us a little bit about that? And where you're
Well,
located as well?
yes, we are located in the Lac Bleu
Okay.
area on La Voie Express across from Vino Sautradaire, which is a phenomenal, institution, a phenomenal place
Yeah,
where
you
you
can
can buy.
also take profit to comment on those pictures. Yeah.
Yes, that's the view from the road of our space. But once you enter inside that gate, we have a restaurant, an event space. We host a lot of weddings. One thing that's really great about us is we grow all our own produce.
Oh.
Yes, and we do so in recycled products. So we take fenders, which I think you'll see later. Oh, those are our mangoes from our mango tree. We really try to stay green.
Okay.
That's very important to us. We also do a lot of pisciculture in Ukala, not in the restaurant. Actually, yeah, so there's an example. We would take tire that's no longer used, and then we plant different products in there. That's us, grabbing some. I think that's parsley from our farm, where we also grow a lot of produce, and we also have many fish farms. So we try to stay as green as possible. We use composting in order to grow, our materials.
What's composting differently?
Composting is basically taking certain biodegradable products, certain biodegradable waste. So you're looking at orange peels, potato peels, eggshells, and then you would just put them in a pot and kind of let them biodegrade. And then that byproduct, works as a sort of engrais. You would say, almost.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like forgetting the word in English, which is never happens. It's usually the
Yeah, I
opposite, but
understand.
here we are.
Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. That's very good. So you mean you're trying to do as best as possible or as good as possible to remain green. So it means what people eat in your restaurant is what yourself grow.
For the most part, we're
yeah.
not 100%. I would say self-sufficient, autosufficient in terms of we don't have, for example, animals on our farm, so we do buy meat products and whatnot. But in terms of produce, we try to grow and sell what we grow.
Okay.
And we like to be handy and use tires or old water bottles and whatever we can to help us in our agriculture process.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, you're watching the Gaston Gabo 24, and we are having Miss Christina Obam, who is an environmentalist, amateur, and entrepreneur. Well, today we're talking about recycling at very, let's say, basic scale, if you can say so, all right? Let's talk a little bit about the impact of Gabon in terms of environment protection at international level and national level. I think President Ibongo Nimba is to congratulate for the efforts he's been doing with the Ministry of Environment. Do you think he can do better than what, in terms of environment diplomacy?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to say that I'm extremely proud to be from this country that does so much. We have been and continue to be truly trailblazers when it comes to environmental protection, conservation, and the fight against climate change. Our president just recently attended the climate summit that was hosted by U.S. President Joe Biden. And he was one of the only African heads of states to be present, which I think speaks volumes to our place and the fact that we were taken very seriously as agents, active, actors in the fight against, climate change and whatnot. So I think it's very commendable. We very much, at least in terms of not just Central Africa, but the rest of the continent, are an example. And I think the work they're doing is great, and perhaps maybe helping with early childhood education, incorporating environmental education into schools.
Okay.
Might be
at national level, you mean?
Absolutely.
Very good.
Might be really good because I benefited from it, on the other side of the globe. But I think it's been proven that if whatever you teach kids, they then bring back home, they end up teaching their parents about ecology, about recycling, and it ends up just transforming their communities around them.
Very good. So we can say that recycling is much more, does some kind of much more good than harm to the community. Yeah?
Absolutely. There are a myriad of benefits.
Okay.
Not just financial, because there is a financial benefit to recycling. I mean, your plastic water bottles, for example, there are a lot of organizations in this country even that will repurchase those bottles instead of just throwing it away. They'll buy them off of you. So there is truly a financial incentive to recycle, but also it helps protect our ecosystem and also our general surroundings.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think we're very happy one more time having you here. We're moving toward the end of this television program. You know, I wish we could have much time, but
it goes by so fast.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you know. So, well, let's say maybe last question, if you allow me to say so. In terms of, you said there is an economic value, there's also a kind of community value, all right? Maybe why not directly talk about, let's say, that aspect of yours, as you are also a TV presenter. You are
absolutely
involved in media as well.
Yes, I do. I very newly entered this field, and I am a correspondent on a local talk show, and it's been quite fun. I'm having a good time, and I'm also learning a lot. And in terms of environmental messaging, I would say that a lot of people think that it's something abstract, or that you have to be a giant corporation, or have a gigantic budget in order to contribute in order to reduce your carbon footprint, in order to be green. And that's not it. Really, it's quite the opposite. It comes down to individuals.
Wonderful.
The little changes you make can have an impact, a large impact on your community and in your neighborhoods and so on.
Wonderful. Gabon 24 English is very happy having you here, and as long as we are bilingual, I can foresee you maybe joining us in the future. Why not? What do you think about that? Such an idea.
Feel free to give me a call.
I recall that you are Miss Christina Obam. You are entrepreneur and environmentalist amateur. Is it that?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having me. And just remember, everyone, to stay green and stay clean.
Wonderful. Stay green and stay clean. I recall that today's topic was recycling at individual scale in Gabon. Ladies and gentlemen, keep watching Gabon 24 live on our social networks, now displaying on the bottom of your screen. Moreover, watch out, COVID-19 is not yet over. Go and get vaccinated. Please keep practicing the barrier gestures as well. For your health, stay home, stay safe, stay clean and green. Goodbye for now. Thank you.